Hello friends and hello student. My name is Ashok Sijala. In this session, we learn the one-dimensional array in C language and find out minimum value and maximum value. So first I share my laptop screen. Yes, and here fix the position so you can better way watch my video lecture. And here Turbo C++, I just double click and selected yes and take some process, and now yes is open. Alter F file menu and taking a new file, and here our goal of this session, write a uh, write a program yes to enter 1D array and find out minimum and maximum value. Yes, so minimum and maximum value. Yes, so that is complete. So like our normal definition, in we can find out enter two integer value and find out the greatest or maximum or minimum value, and like three enter value and find out minimum and maximum value. So here there are array. You have to know what is a array. Array is a collection of similar data type element, and uh, that data collection of similar data type element, that is known as array. And order set, that one technical word use of order sets, finite set of number of element and refer the same data type and same collection of value, that is also one dimensional array. So here that is possible because number of same data type we can find in one that program, minimum or maximum both value, and you can also take the separate program, but here in this session I cover both. So here our that is a header file link section, stdio.h and ponio.h. Yes, and that our main start, and we can our my technique. So you any definition you can find first what is a input, yes, and then process and then output. So here 1D array, enter one dimensional array, that is a our input, and print minimum and maximum value and find out, that is process, how to find out, that is logic. So we can take here input and output first and then take the logic. So how to first 1D array scan and print with index, that is my new technique for you. So let us static array first and then clear the screen, and we can take the outside. You have to know 1D array taking one for loop and two dimensional array taking two for loop nested. So here we can give the suitable message, enter 1D array, and that is known as element. Array value is known as element. So we can give the enter 1D array element and slash n. So taking new line, and I equal to not 1 but 0. So generally our triangle pyramid we can take the I equal to 1, but here is a 0 and I let, because index of array start with 0. Index is always start with 0. So we can take I equal to 0, and then we can first scan. So here index we have to print in out, then scanning time. So x percentage d, and what our index, that is a I. So I equal to 0 1, that is taking the index, and then here we can percentage d and then x ampersand xo5, that is pronunciation xo5. So our scanning is complete, and just I copy this call and paste to our printing. So here I remove just only enter word, enter, remove, and 1D array element r word I use last, so that is printed. And here I remove this brace because only one statement is there. So printf, yes, and then I remove this scanf function and remove all part and comma, and we can also print the d. So our value is printed. Okay. So and also remove this brace and provide the get ch and save this file. F2 is a shortcut key. So a1d, because first letter we cannot provide the digit. That is the rules of variables. So also apply to file name. So 1AD, and that is a max or min. You can and dot C, maximum value is yes. So that is save, and let us compile first. So yes, there is no any error. Yes, and we can start to compile, or compile done. Now run. I so enter 1D array element. So I give any element. So randomly, yes. So that is print in one dimensional array element R. So that is a print in horizontal form. Yes, and here we can provide the slash n. So that is a vertical. Yes, I just save F2 and compile again and run. So I give sequence. So that is yes, very perfectly. And now here I remove here slash n because we can provide to here, so they are not required. And now our printing and scanning and printing with index is done. Now here our logic. So here our that is a in scan part means input, and here our output. But we can print our maximum and minimum value. So I just copy this for loop and paste to here. Yes, and we can take one new variable. First I develop the maximum code and assign to 0, max equal to 0. And here that for loop we can provide the brace, and here taking one if condition. If that max is a less than or equal to x of I. So what to do? We can store the max our new element, because if that element is greater, because we can assign the max equal to 0. So that element is a less than, so that we can, that is a greatest element. So we can store in the max. So any new greatest or last all element, that for loop is complete. So our maximum value store in the max variable. So I think very simple if condition. So here we can take advantage. Yes, I save, compile, yes, and we can print also our maximum value. So after this for loop printing, we can last statement before the get ch, the maximum value is and percentage d, and then max, that our variable name, and here provide the slash n. So new line, yes. So compile, yes, and then running. So I give randomly, yes, yes. Now any value, and so maximum is a 8. Yes, we have to find out our maximum value. So very simple and very, that is where first part is complete, the maximum value. So what the condition? So max we can assign initially 0, and that less than or equal to I first our element. So that value is compare is yes less than, so that store new our maximum value. So that is a all value compare, and highest value store at last in max variable. And same in the minimum value. So I think you know minimum, and minimum what to do, not assign to 0, but otherwise that is our always minimum is a 0. So we can what to do. So here minimum we can store our x of 0 first. That directly you can store this type of also. So x 0 means first element we can store in minimum, and here we can take other if condition. If minimum is greater than, here we can take less than, here greater than or equal to, and then x of I. Yes. So what to do? We can store our minimum equal to x of I. So last at a first we can store, and greater that same element compare, that is equal to that again store, and we can step by step, because otherwise we cannot initialize, then garbage value is there. So we can must be initialized. So otherwise what happen here, there is minimum, there not any value. So that taking the garbage value, and that not perfectly find out to minimum value. And now I print also minimum value. Here I just copy and paste and change the message and change the variable. So here we can say that minimum, and here min for variable name. So appropriate variable name and appropriate message suitable. So here I give again random value. Yes, there is no any problem. Yes, and here 6. So maximum is a 9 and minimum is a 2. So 4, 8, 9, 2, 6, that our element. So 9 is a maximum, 2 is a minimum of this 5 element of bunch. Okay. So I think very simple and very interesting, simple logic. But here you can care if you initialize minimum not to 0 and not initialize, that is garbage value. So we can must be some value initialize, and then I take the 0 first or element of array. Okay. So I think now yes, we can trace our logic. So I just here control F8. So directly start to here and what to do in this session. So I control compile and taking our element. I give the randomly element. So you can watch. And here what element is not, 7 is not, yes. So now watch is start, and yes, here we can alter W and take the our watch window, and also take the, but not required, we can take also output window, yes. And here I some size is, yes, and here that all our element is there. Okay. So now after that printed, okay. So print, and here I minimize, yes. So and all, if you not here I give above, yes, and all element you can see here increase the, that is a handler, you can increase the size. Okay. And also our output, that watch window here is handler, so you can increase the size. And now here our first max variable, and then min variable, and then x of I, yes. And if you print index, then I only. So now start, and here max is store 0 and minimum is a garbage value, you can look. So if you not a year initialize, so that is taking garbage value, and compared to our for loop, that is a disturb to our minimum value. So that not a perfectly print. So I press F7. So now first our element 0 in the 0 first element that store in minimum, and here is 0. Now our next this loop is start, and max equal to 0 and less than x of I, yes, that condition is true. So max store is now 2, yes, that store 2. Here is a watch, and minimum is a greater than, but that is a 2, and then minimum is 2, so equal to, that is condition is true. Then I plus plus, then second our element 9, yes, max is 2 and less than, yes, condition is true, so maximum store the 9, yes. And minimum, that is a 2 not greater, because that 9 and 9 is not greater than 2, so that is a false, yes. I plus plus, I is a now is what, 2, because we start the index 0, so here 6. So 6 is a not less than, because here max is a store 9, so not condition is false. And here also condition is false. Okay. So now that is a I plus plus, and 3, that 4 condition is a false, because max is store 9, so condition is false. And that condition is also false, because minimum is 2 and our new element is 4, so condition is false. Again I plus plus, so 7 element, then again both condition, because we can find maximum minimum value 9 and 2. And now that print all our one by one element, see in output, and here our maximum value is 9 and minimum is a 9, and gets here. So we can take to our minimum maximum very easily. So passing. Okay. So now I remove this F9, and here first control, yes, and then press F9 function key, and F5 full screen. So here press and remove this red line. Go to that press, and again press Control F8 function key. Okay. So what is a post? Now very simple, I think you have to understand. So only one change is required. You can take the size like 50 and take one n variable. Yes, that is only possibility in this coding. So we can scan to our array size from user. So we can initially give some high range, enter 1D array size. That is a not dynamic array, but can give initially some big size, and then taking the number of advantages. So enter user side, and here not static. Now I n, here I provide the n. So yes, and also here n. So all are well. Yes, so malloc, calloc, and dynamic memory allocation is there. So here we can take advantage, like I give the 8, so I give like 12, 6, 9, any values, 15, third, some minimum also highest. Okay, so maximum is a 956 and minimum is a 3. So any value I just testing. So we can here what the chance we can take the maximum up to 50 character we can give the array size. That is not we can give up to that number of size, but that is we can take advantage. Like here I give only 3 variables, so you can take the advantage of 3 variables. So that is a directly 9 and 2. 6 is a middle. So 9 is highest and 2 is a, I give a randomly. Not so here we can chance take any number of values. So that number of time that value is a taking. Okay. So I give some repetition value. So what happened? Yes, 8. So 9 is highest and 1 is lowest. Okay. So yes, I think complete to our session. Very simple minimum maximum value find out in one dimensional array. So both program in one session I can complete. So you can also take the separate. So that is, I think you have to know that is now our input. Yes, and that is our logic. Yes, here is a logic, and that is now all output. Yes, here all are output. Our one dimensional one complete array and minimum maximum value. So here I part separate 3 parts. Okay, so first in one dimensional array or 2 dimensional, first you can scan and print perfectly and then apply to your logic. That is apply this technique. So and some paperwork you have to done. Then you can easily find a solution your definition. Okay, so write this program to your note, very simple but very important. And here that initialize is very important statement of logic. If you not initialize minimum value, then garbage value, and then not take into perfect. You can testing also, but here, yes, if we are here, I go give the comment line and what happened. Let us check. We taking the error and learning new things. Yes, so here we can give some value. So yes, that is a taking, but here sometime issue. Here is a perfect output, but here that what happened that directly here take the value, but sometime that not give proper answer. So we can take error, generate garbage value, comparison the garbage value. So we cannot take the risks. Yes, that is a mean. So here I conclude close my session. Yes, that is a logic part. Yes, and close alter F3 function key, close our watch output and quit. So subscribe my channel Ashok Sijal Academy. Press the bell icon to never miss any update. Thanks for your watching, supporting, and sharing my video lecture. And Hare Krishna.